The first rays of sunlight slowly spread over the fields at the foot of the hills, where the tracks of wild boars are etched deep and clear. Whether by night or day, these creatures don't just ravage the crops they've grown boldly, frequently venturing close to residential areas, stirring anxiety among the locals and their livestock. Seeing the situation worsen, Daniel's team has set out with modern weaponry and unwavering resolve to restore peace to this land. But will these shadows of the wilderness be easy to tame? Join us on this relentless hunt and find out. The team moved silently along the rugged trail, steadily climbing toward the hillside known to be a stronghold for fierce wild boar packs. Just as they reached the high ground, a sudden noise shattered the silence. A beast thundered down the slope at terrifying speed, as if the hunters had become the hunted. But Daniel stood firm. He raised his rifle, took careful aim, and bang! The shot echoed through the mountains. The beast lost its footing, tumbling down the hill before collapsing into the thick brush below. Seconds later, a sharp volley of gunfire cracked through the air. Behind Daniel, his teammate had spotted another target charging down from the northern slope. This one was crafty, weaving swiftly through the thick brush, desperate to escape. But how could it outrun the cold barrel of a seasoned hunter? When the final shot rang out, the massive boar collapsed, its last hope of escape shattered. Suddenly, the sharp barking of dogs erupted ahead, a clear warning that trouble was near. The whole team surged forward, the bushes shaking violently as if about to burst. Daniel swiftly raised his rifle, eyes locked onto the trembling canopy. In the blink of an eye, a dark shadow dashed out. Unfazed, as if this were old hat, Daniel calmly swung his gun and squeezed the trigger. Bang! The deadly bullet hit its mark, the beast skidding before finally collapsing. After clearing the hillside area, the team decided to press on, driving their vehicle toward the vast grassland ahead. Before long, a lone prey came into view. The team immediately accelerated, closing in fast. Daniel raised his rifle and took aim from a distance. Bang! The first shot hit its leg. Daniel's face hardened. Calmly, he raised his gun and fired the final shot. Bang! It was over. The team climbed down from the vehicle and moved deeper into the wilderness. Look, there! A massive beast suddenly came into clear view, right within shooting range. Bang! The bullet tore through the air, striking the prey's flank. And the outcome was inevitable. Nothing can escape the barrel of a rifle wielded by hunters forged through relentless training. As the sky faded into the last streaks of sunset, the team began packing up their gear to head back. The walk back to the vehicle seemed calm until a teammate suddenly signaled for silence. Everyone froze instantly. A prey appeared, its head raised high, alert and cautious. But that hesitation proved to be a fatal mistake. Bang! The shot rang out, hitting a vital spot. The beast let out a few desperate cries before collapsing, completely powerless. Fast, clean, precise. That's the hallmark of seasoned hunters and the perfect seal on a successful expedition. Today's hunt with Daniel's team came to a close with clear results. Every fierce prey was taken down one by one, restoring peace to this land. Each shot not only showcased skill, but also the seamless teamwork of seasoned hunters. Of course, everything was carried out fully in compliance with local laws. A heartfelt thank you goes to the local community and authorities for their enthusiastic support, which helped us complete this hunting mission successfully. Wild boars are unleashing a terrifying nightmare, ravaging crops, spreading disease, and crippling the agricultural economy. Today, hunters step into a battle not just to hunt, but to save nature from devastation. Follow the heart-pounding pursuits where their courage and reflexes are pushed to the limit. Watch until the end to understand why these savage beasts must be stopped immediately. Since early morning, John's hunting team has been on the scene, sealing off the Italian countryside. Not long after, the first shot of the day rings out. A massive wild boar suddenly charges toward John's position. Seizing the moment, a rapid burst of gunfire erupts, and the beast collapses to the ground. A flawless strike, eliminating one threat to these fields. But the journey has only just begun. John moves on to the next position, determined to let none escape. As John tracks the traces of the savage beasts, a sound signals the presence of prey. There it is! A wild boar charging like an arrow, aiming to vanish into the forest ahead. John instantly pulls the trigger. A barrage of shots rings out, tracking the beast's every step. Without a single misstep, it collapses onto the grass. A precise shot, swiftly preventing another wave of destruction to the fields here. On the golden fields, a breathless ambush is unfolding. A sharpshooter, patiently concealed for 15 minutes, finally spots the silhouette of a wild boar. Without hesitation, a decisive gunshot rings out, and the beast collapses in an instant. Less than a minute later, another boar suddenly charges forward. With no wasted movement, a precise shot leaves the beast lifeless on the grass. The threat to these fields is completely eliminated. Leaving behind the limited view from the ground, we ascend to a fierce battle in the skies. James' helicopter roars into the air, the chaotic scene below quickly coming into sharp focus. There they are, a large herd of wild boars gathered on the field. The pilot swiftly lowers the altitude, bringing the helicopter in close, clearing the way for the sharpshooters to begin the chase. Gunshots ring out relentlessly, pursuing each beast through a hail of bullets. In the blink of an eye, one after another is brought down, leaving only their lifeless bodies on the cold ground. The helicopter presses on to the post-harvest field. Another herd of wild boars is quickly spotted. The helicopter swiftly closes in, cutting off the beast's escape. A relentless barrage of gunshots echoes, and within minutes, every target lies fallen on the field. Moving on to the adjacent field, James spots the silhouettes of another herd of wild boars below. The helicopter swiftly maneuvers to close in on the prey, setting up the sharpshooters for clear shots.
What?
The monstrous beasts are ravaging the crops, turning fertile land into a desolate mire and gravely threatening the native ecosystem. This is the moment for the hunters to step in, to save this land before it's too late. Do they have the courage to face these colossal creatures? Join us in the mystical swamp, where every step harbors danger and every moment is a breathless confrontation. Watch to the end to pick the hunt that impresses you most. As dawn broke, John's hunting team gathered in their familiar truck, heading to the Texas swamp. Upon arrival, the team moved into their pre-assigned positions. Leon and his comrades swiftly boarded the boat, embarking on their quest to track the monstrous beasts. Just 15 minutes in, a wild boar suddenly appeared right before them. Without hesitation, a gunshot rang out, neutralizing the threat in an instant. A precise, swift shot. A perfect start to the day's hunt. Leaving the boat and venturing deeper, they swiftly took cover in their positions. Mere minutes later, a wild boar suddenly charged out at the swamp's edge, landing squarely in the hunter's sights. Seizing the moment, a bullet was fired. In an instant, the beast collapsed to the ground, marking another triumph for the team. At another position, the hunter in hiding closely watched every movement around. Suddenly, a wild boar ambled out, oblivious to being in the crosshairs. Seizing the opportunity, rapid gunshots rang out, cutting off the beast's escape. A mere second's delay and it could have wreaked havoc across the area. At the same moment, in a Turkish field, a thrilling chase unfolded between Finn and a colossal beast. Spotting the familiar silhouette from afar, he immediately sprang into action. As the beast turned its head, a decisive gunshot rang out. The creature collapsed to the ground, unable to resist further. A threat swiftly and precisely eliminated. At the edge of the rice field, as the hunter keenly observed every moment around, the prey suddenly burst out from within. Instantly, a gunshot rang out, cutting off its escape route. A split second slower, and the beast might have slipped away, but fortunately, it no longer had a chance to cause further destruction. At the neighboring field, Finn had taken up his blocking position. There it was, a wild boar charging at full speed from the distance, but it made a fatal mistake by veering toward Finn. He swiftly tracked the beast's movement, and then he pulled the trigger as it drew near. With just a single shot, the beast collapsed onto the grass. Another perfect triumph recorded for the team. Hunting wild boars not only protects crops, land, and agricultural economies, but also helps restore the balance between humans and nature. However, this activity must be tightly regulated to ensure sustainability and ethical wildlife conservation. Tracking the destroyers, a bloody battle on the fields to save the harvest. Ferocious wild boars have turned fertile fields into brutal battlegrounds. They brazenly devastate crops, instill fear in farmers, and cause millions of dollars in damages. Hunters immediately set out, ready to confront these cunning beasts head-on. Join us on this heart-pounding journey, where gunfire echoes across the fields and tense battles of wits unfold in the depths of the forest. Follow along right now. A perfect ambush on the fields of France is pushing back the devastation caused by wild boars. Nick's hunting team arrived early, setting up a perimeter around the area. At this moment, they were all in their assigned positions. Just minutes later, a wild boar bolted from the wheat field, landing directly in Jay's crosshairs. Without a moment's delay, a bullet was fired, neutralizing the threat in the middle of the field. Before he could lower his rifle, another boar charged forward, only to be taken down by the next precise shot. The field now bore only the remains of two beasts, marking the start of today's battle. At the edge of the field, the barking of dogs echoed, signaling the prey's location. The marksman advanced, and suddenly, a wild boar burst from the bushes. A precise strike, eliminating another threat to the fields here. Another gunshot rang out almost simultaneously. As the hunter peered into the bushes, a wild boar charged out. He instantly pulled the trigger, firing a single shot, and the beast collapsed onto the grass. Before he could celebrate, another boar rushed forward. Seizing the moment, the next shot was fired without hesitation, and another beast fell. The swift and precise handling was astonishingly effective, bringing a measure of peace to the field. Following the faint trail, the hunter ventured deeper into the dense forest. The sudden bark of the hunting dogs echoed, and he immediately rushed toward the sound. The silhouette of a wild boar gradually came into view within his sights. A decisive shot rang out, swiftly neutralizing the threat. From all directions, a chorus of gunfire erupted, signaling that the other boars had also been dealt with. The wild boar, as if maddened, charged straight at him with terrifying speed. Without a hint of fear, he pulled the trigger instantly. A single shot rang out, and the beast collapsed less than a meter from him. A heart-stopping moment. A decisive strike showcasing the grit of a man who has faced danger more than once. Deep in the forest, a herd of wild boars foraged diligently, unaware they were in the crosshairs. Choosing the optimal angle, he locked onto the target ahead and pulled the trigger. The shot rang out, and the largest, fattest boar dropped instantly. The others, reacting instinctively, scattered swiftly, too quick for another shot to follow. the land was quickly restored to freedom, liberated from the claws of the beasts. Amid rugged terrain teeming with danger, hordes of wild boars gathered to take refuge. But today, fearless hunters venture straight into their lair to track down these ferocious beasts. Do they have the grit to take down the savage horde? Breathtaking moments from treacherous swamps to dark, dense forests are about to unfold. Join us to witness every shot that marks their triumphant hunt. Coming up next. Rugged terrain, conquering wild boars in the muddy lands. The hunt across the Texas swamps will be the first battleground for today's clash. Deep within the marsh, Nick quickly spots a herd of wild boars foraging together. In an instant, he locks onto his target and pulls the trigger. The gunshot echoes, sending the herd scattering in panic, leaving behind the body of a hefty boar on the leaf-strewn ground. A precise, clean shot. An impressive opening to this thrilling pursuit.
Right in front of you.
More behind him.
Oh!
Get him, Jack!
At the clearing near the swamp, a lone wild boar, leisurely foraging, falls squarely into John's crosshairs. Without hesitation, he adjusts his rifle's aim and squeezes the trigger. The shot rings out, striking the beast dead on, leaving its lifeless body motionless on the ground. Another threat neutralized, another triumph added to the team's tally. Continuing to track the trail to the eastern edge of the swamp, John quickly spots his target. A wild boar, engrossed in foraging, remains oblivious to the hunter's presence. Selecting the optimal position and angle, he pulls the trigger. Flawlessly executed, the beast collapses instantly, without a chance to resist. Almost simultaneously, the familiar sound of gunfire echoes from other ambush points, signaling the mission's success. The threat is swiftly neutralized, ensuring these beasts won't ravage the farmer's crops, at least for today. decisive shot rings out through the dense forest, where another hunting team has just arrived in their familiar vehicle. Upon reaching the site, they swiftly move to their pre-assigned positions. Mere minutes later, a wild boar ambles directly into Leon's crosshairs. Waiting for the perfect moment, a single gunshot shatters the silence, and the beast collapses instantly. An impeccably precise shot, eliminating yet another threat to the forest. At the same moment, deep within the forest, a hidden marksman spots a herd of wild boars entering his line of sight. A rapid succession of shots rings out, striking two boars at the rear while the lead boar escapes into the dense woods. Outside the forest, the barking of hunting dogs echoes. Instantly, a massive wild boar emerges. Without hesitation, a barrage of bullets is unleashed, cutting off the beast's escape route. To ensure no mistakes, the hunter approaches closer and delivers a final decisive shot, completely neutralizing the threat. This meticulous takedown reveals just how cunning these beasts are, keeping the hunters ever vigilant. Another area is cleanly secured, restoring peace to the land overrun by these creatures.